Once upon a time, in a quiet little village nestled among the hills, lived an old woman named Gulbano Amma. She was poor by possessions but rich in joy. Her home was small, her meals simple, and her clothes patched, but her heart overflowed with laughter. She believed that life was best lived with a smile, no matter how harsh the winds of fate. Every day, she helped her neighbors, shared what little she had, and accepted help in return only when offered with love. Children adored her, and even animals seemed to understand her kindness. One winter morning, the chill was sharper than usual, and Gulbano said to herself, "I'll need more firewood to stay warm tonight." Wrapping a thin shawl tightly around her, she set out toward the nearby forest. Her old feet moved slowly, but her heart hummed a tune as light as a feather. As she wandered deeper into the trees, her eyes caught a strange glint among the fallen leaves. There, half buried in dirt, lay a large, brown bundle wrapped in worn cloth. Curious, she looked around. "Who could have left this?" she murmured. No voices answered. She waited. Still, no one came. Cautiously, she tugged at the bundle. It was unusually heavy, too heavy for its size. She strained, puffed, and heaved, but somehow managed to drag it along the forest trail, all the way back home. By the time she reached her doorstep, her back ached and her arms trembled. She sat down to rest, eyes locked on the bundle, wondering what magic or mystery it might contain. With a deep breath, she opened it. Inside was a gleaming pot filled with glittering gold coins. For a moment, her breath caught. Was she dreaming? She rubbed her eyes, blinked. The gold still shone, bright as the morning sun. But instead of hoarding the treasure, Gulbano quietly picked a single coin, tiptoed around the village that night, and left it outside the doors of her neediest neighbors. The next morning, children squealed in joy, women prayed in gratitude, and the whole village buzzed with wonder. And Gulbano? She simply smiled, lit her fireplace, and made lentil soup. The next day, when she peeked into the pot, the gold had turned into silver coins. "Still lovely," she chuckled. She once again gave some away and used a few to mend her leaking roof and buy warm blankets for old Romu and blind Rahana down the lane. On the third day, when she opened the pot, the silver had become iron scraps. She stared at it for a long moment, then laughed softly. "Iron or gold, it's all useful." She sold the iron and used the money to buy books for the school and sweets for the children. The fourth morning, the pot was full of rough stones. "Ah," she said, "maybe I can use them to line the garden path." But as she tried to lift the stones, they grew heavier and darker until they formed a pile of jagged rocks, and right in the center stood a creature, half wolf, half man, with eyes blazing red and sharp teeth like curved daggers. Any ordinary soul might have screamed or run. But Gulbano looked calmly into the beast's eyes and said, "Oh my, what a magnificent creature you are." The creature froze. "Do you know what I am? I offered you gold, silver, iron, and stone. Each time, you gave instead of taking. I revealed my true form to frighten you. And yet, you smile." "You are beautiful," she replied. "Because you tested my heart and not my greed." For a moment, the beast said nothing. Then it blinked and burst into 1,000 shimmering butterflies. One of them, golden and glowing, brushed Gulbano's cheek before flying off into the sky. And just like that, the pile of stones vanished. In its place, a comfortable wooden chair appeared. And beside it, a fresh pot full of gold coins. Gulbano sat by the pot of gold, her hands gently resting on the lid, her heart full, not with desire, but with peace. She didn't keep the gold for herself. Instead, she carried the pot to the village square and said aloud, "This gift is for all of us. Let's use it wisely." And so began a new chapter in the village's life. Broken roofs were mended. The village well was deepened. The temple and the mosque were painted. A small library was built for the children, and every evening, Gulbano would read them stories beneath the soft glow of a lantern. The strange thing was, the pot never emptied. Each night, the gold would replenish itself. Soon, word spread beyond the hills about the magical pot and the woman who owned it. Curious travelers arrived. Some came to admire her kindness. Others came with darker intentions. One day, 3 cunning men from the city appeared, a greedy merchant, a sly lawyer, and a fake monk. They told Gulbano, "You must give us this pot. In our hands, it can serve a bigger purpose." Gulbano smiled and replied, "If your purpose is to serve others, you may take what you need. But if you only wish to possess it, it will serve no one." That night, the men tried to steal the pot. As they crept through her door and lifted the pot, it began to burn hot. One of them screamed and dropped it. As the lid flew off, flames leapt out, and the forest echoed with their cries. The pot disappeared into the mist. The next morning, it sat quietly by Gulbano's old wooden chair, untouched, unchanged, as if nothing had happened. A note lay beside it. "The test is complete. This pot now belongs not to one, but to all who carry your spirit." And so Gulbano began her path of giving. Every month, she would visit a new village with the pot and ask, "What is your greatest need?" Some said a bridge, some a school, some clean water. She never questioned, just opened the pot, gave what was needed, and moved on. The government heard of her. Officials came with cameras and questions. "Amma," they asked, "what do you want now that you have gold, fame, and honor?" She smiled. "I only want what I had from the start, a kind heart, a cheerful soul, and the joy of sharing." One day, Gulbano returned to the very forest where she first found the bundle. She sat on her wooden chair beside the old rock and closed her eyes. A golden butterfly circled around her and whispered, "Your heart has passed every trial. This pot is now part of your spirit. Wherever a heart like yours is found, it will appear." And with that, it flew off into the sky, leaving behind a trail of sparkling dust. To this day, people say that in times of great need, when kindness flickers in a humble soul, an old woman with warm eyes, a wooden chair, and a golden pot appears by their door. And that is the real treasure she left behind, not gold, but the magic of selfless joy.